Hi guys, it's Rayvenne, and today I'm doing a tutorial on how I create my thumbnails. So I know that I have a PC, and this is a tutorial for only PCs, and that website I'm going to use also has a mobile version and has an app that you can get on iOS or Android, but I'm not going to cover that today because I use PC. So you can also access the website on Safari or Chrome or your browser tab or whatever browser you use on your mobile device, and you can do the same thing on your browser. So I'm going to get straight into the tutorial. So first, let's go to Gacha Club. So for this video, I'm going to be creating the thumbnail that I'm going to be using for this tutorial, so I get two things done at once. So first, I open Gacha Club, and then I get my OC ready. So I'm going to go to face and then make the eyes look this way. Then I'm going to change the mouth. And then I'm going to change the pose. Stand, I must have passed stand. I'm like, yeah, there we go, standing. So I'm gonna use this pose. And remember to have a green screen. So if you don't know how to do a green screen, you go to backgrounds. Then you can choose any one of these shapes, and then you have to go to BG color, and then you have to choose a green, one of these greens, and they both have to be the same in main and sub. So I'm just gonna switch back to this screen color. The screen color is what I would recommend you use. So then you would pull up your OC and just can move it. And now it's just wherever you're planning your thumbnail being. So like if this is the green part is your thumbnail. Your OC, I usually keep my OC on the left side, so I'm gonna move my OC on the left side. Then for PC, for Windows especially, this way you take a screenshot is the way I do it. I don't know if there's any other ways, but I do Windows Shift S, and I take a screenshot of the only green part. And on iOS, you can press the home button and the power button at the same time. And on Android, you press, it depends on the device, so I'm not exactly sure for Android. So once you take the screenshot, you have to click here, save it, and I would crop it here also, crop the black bars. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then check mark, then click this button to save. That it should save. Now we don't need Gacha Club anymore. Now you can go to Google to find a background for your thumbnail. So I usually do like aesthetic backgrounds. And I like to have like a dark black or like dark color theme. So I'm gonna search dark. You can search whatever you want. I'm gonna go with the dark blue for the thumbnail. So I like this one, I might use it. Oh, I like this one better, so I'm just gonna, for PC, you would hover over the image and then press with 2 fingers, right click, and then click save image. And then you can save it, and then it should pop up here. For iOS, you should press, I don't remember how, but I think you keep holding the image, and then a save image option should come. And I don't know how for Android, I think you can only take a screenshot. So once you save your image to your device, you won't need that tab anymore. So then, now we're going to remove the background. Since it's PC, I don't use any drawing apps to remove the background because there's this website called Remove Image Background, called Remove BG. So you can just go to your browser, search remove.bg. This website also works on Safari or Chrome or any browser. You just have to search in the browser bar remove.bg and it should pop up. So now I'm just gonna upload the image of the screenshot of my Gacha OC. and then it should remove the background. So now that you might notice here that there's still a little green, so there's a way to remove that. So you can go to edit, erase, and restore. So I would suggest bringing the size all the way down and then zooming in so you can be as precise as possible. The highest you can zoom in is 400, and then you just scroll. It might become a little smaller, but let's first actually zoom in the character. And then increase. And then I'll scroll again. So now that we're at the smallest size and then we're zoomed in as big as possible, you do this. It might not be perfect, especially if you're in PC, but it won't be that much noticeable because it's pretty small. Then once you're satisfied with your result, you can just click download and then download your image. So now that that's done, we have removed the background. So I'm just gonna close this and then I'm going to open Canva. So Canva is a website that I use to create my thumbnails. There's also an app version that you can get on your mobile device, but I don't use the app version. And you will have to create an account. You can log in with your YT account because you have to use Google for it. So I log in with my YT account and you go to canva.com. And you can also access the website version of it if you go to Safari or Chrome, like I said. Any of these websites you can access. So you would have created a design, then you would search YouTube, and then YouTube thumbnail should pop up. So that should be perfect size for your YouTube thumbnail. So now that that pops up, you go to uploads. And here you can already see I've imported a couple things. So I've got to upload media device, and then I'd pull up the images. So I'm just pulling up the remove.bg OC that I removed, and then I'm going to bring in the background too. And there's my background. So I'm going to open both of them. So this doesn't have layers like Abyss Paint X or any other app you use. So you would just bring your background in first, and then you'd bring it to the corner, and then it might not fit. So you can stretch it, and it would do that. And you can move it up and down. So now that I have that, now I'm gonna bring. Oh, it looks like the OC didn't upload, so I'm just gonna quickly upload that. And now you can see, you can barely see that I erased it there. So now I'm just gonna make it big, so to my liking. And just scooch it over a little bit. And then I'm going to go to text. For the text, you can click on T text. And you would click add a heading. And then you would type in whatever the video is. So for mine, it's going to be how to make a thumbnail on PC. So you can make it longer or shorter, but I'm okay with this. I'm just going to make it a little bit shorter. And you can change the font size over here. 50 should be okay for me for this font. You can change the font over here. So the font I usually use in my thumbnails is Apricots. And I usually use calligraphy. So fonts, so I would search up calligraphy. So another font I sometimes use is Brusher. And you can find any font you want, like that you might find in Google Docs or any Microsoft or like Google Slides or any Microsoft thing. So I'm going to go with apricots. So you can change the color over here with this A and the rainbow line under it. And it would give you a color scheme with the colors that are from the images you can see here. And then you can create a custom color here. You can put the hex code here also, but I don't want that. And then these are default basic colors. And also there's a previous pro version, but you can create a really good thumbnail with just the normal version without having to pay. And I'm going to just leave it at white. And then I'm going to change the size to 60 because font is smaller now. So I'm just going to move that up a little bit so I have more room to add. Actually, we'll hold on to that for later. So then sometimes if you see in my thumbnails, I have a little line like this. So you would go to elements, and that's where you can find lots of cool shapes and stuff. So for kind of like a line, I'm going to look at this line spot, and you can search up here. So I'm just gonna search for line to show you. And there's lots of cool lines, but I'm gonna find the line I usually use, which is a line with 3 teardrops under it. So this is it. So I'm just gonna use this to rotate. You can rotate this, and then 180 degrees. It doesn't matter if it says negative. 180 degrees should flip it completely upside down. And then you can just use the corners to make it larger, and then you can adjust it as needed. Now I'm just gonna go back to text, add a heading, and then add Rayvenne for my channel name. And then I'm just gonna change it to apricots, the font. Oop, Grammarly going a little crazy there. Dismiss. I know that many of you don't use PCs, but I just want to make this tutorial for the PC users because there's not many tutorials for that. So now that I have that, and also a couple other tools you can use is if you click this, you can find the transparency, and then you can lower the opacity. You can animate it, which means you can make it come in. So the ones with the crown, even in elements, you'll find that, and maybe in text too, and backgrounds and all this stuff. The ones with the crown is you have to pay for it, and you have to use premium, so I wouldn't suggest using those. One way you can get away with this, if it'll come with watermarks. Let me just show you an example. So let's find one with watermarks. So let's use this one. So you can see there's like this Canva watermark. So one way you can get away with this only works if you change it to color white. Then you can barely see it. And it looks big here, but then you should be able to, you won't see it on your thumbnail. So this only works if it's white, but I don't want to use that. So now that I have that, oop, what was that? I don't know what that is. But now that I have that, I'm going to use my border. So now I will go back to the recently used, and this is the border I usually use. So you can just search up border, and since it's a default black, I'll change the color of that because I want that to be white so it stands out. And I'm just making it fit the thumbnail size. So it fits. And then you go up till here for white, and for the color, and then you can click white. And then where you can crop, you click crop, and then you can just crop it like that. But I don't want to do this, so I'm going to click cancel. Then you can also change the name here, and then, well, there's my thumbnail. I'm just going to make this a little smaller so it fits a little better. And voila, there you go. You'll have a great thumbnail. Now it looks like the text is a little too close. So I'm just going to move the text a little bit. And then bring this back up. Now I'm done. So this is my finished product, and now I'm going to download. So I click download here, and PNG is the best. Now if you have an element in there, like say you have this element and you had a watermark thing, so you can still download it, even though you might have to pay. You can still download it by clicking download a free watermark draft, but I don't want this, so I don't need to download. So I'm just going to download it and go ahead and download it normally. So download, and it should download right here, and there should be a pop-up like something like this, and it should save right there. So now we can see the thumbnail, and this is the finished product. So I hope this tutorial helped you PC users, and also you can do the same thing on Safari or Chrome like I said earlier. So I hope this tutorial helped you, and this is how I create my thumbnails. Thanks for watching.